I saw this listing on Facebook Marketplace for $25, and I know it looks dated with the dark stain, kind of reddish, and it had a little bit of damage. But I thought about this sofa table that I had seen at Pottery Barn. I really like this color, and I think it's pretty popular. Just the light wood look with those black poles, to me, it looks really nice. And here it is staged at the end, and you'll see it. I tried to kind of duplicate that too. They had it as a sofa table, but I marketed it as a sofa table or entry table. So I picked it up that same day, and she told me she had used it at her wedding as like a kind of a table in the front where the cards and things were. So you can see there's some scratches on it. It was really dirty from being stored. So initially what I did was take my carbide scraper and start scraping off the finish because I could see it was a very thin piece of veneer on the top. So the carbide scraper actually got a lot of that finish off of it, and you can see it there. But I did end up switching because I was afraid that I was going to go through the veneer. It's like the thinnest veneer I'd ever seen. It was like paper thin. So I did end up switching to another method. So you can see the carbide scraper removed a lot of the finish. There's the big pile right there. But I sprayed on QCS. It's a finish remover, and I left it on for about 15 minutes, and then I just scraped it off. You can see there's a lot more coming off there. So after stripping it, I put on some mineral spirits and wiped it down just with a blue shop rag, trying to get the rest of that finish remover off. So this is after it had dried. You can see that dark spot. It looks darker on the video. It wasn't really that dark in person. So there was some of the finish left, not much, just kind of some of the stain. So I actually hand sanded it, and this is after hand sanding. It didn't take long at all, just a few minutes. So after hand sanding the top, I did go ahead and scuff sand the entire thing. Scuff sanding is important because it gives the paint something to adhere to. I have the piece on its side. I've already scuff sanded it and cleaned it up. Underneath this, some places it's laminate and some places it's just a thin piece of veneer. Underneath of that is press board, which is right here. So I sprayed that with clear shellac to seal it in, because if you put the water-based primer on it, it'll swell up. You can see it closer there. Some of it swelled a little bit because I didn't see it. It was underneath. When I was stripping the top, the stripper dripped down and removed the finish, which, you know, underneath is the press board. I also saw a part over here that had a little teeny nick in it, so I put some wood filler in there. It's not clear. I'm just waiting for that to dry. And then I'll sand that down a little bit and then put it right side up, and I have to cover up this top because I'm going to do a paint wash on that, and then I'll start spraying. So this is what I'm using. This paint can has been through it, obviously, but this is Fusion's Algonquin. I mostly use it just for a paint wash, but I'm gonna paint with it today for almost the whole piece except for the top. And I mixed it with Stellar Shield from Lily Moon and 2 Lily Moon smoky gel stains. It's wooden barrel and natural cork. I mixed it all in the jar, and it's being strained now before I put it in through my paint sprayer. Okay, so it's all strained. This is the color. I just stirred it up a little bit after, so it looks like a pretty color on the stick. I'm not sure how it's going to show up on this piece. And let me show you. So this is after spraying yesterday. This is just the primer. And then once it was all primed, and dried, I just sanded it a little bit with 400 grit just to make it as smooth as possible before I put on the first coat of paint. I just finished spraying the first coat, and I put the light on it. There's a few spots I missed. I can't have the light and my sprayer on at the same time. So I'm kind of spraying in the not totally dark, but really darker than I should be. But it's also drying faster in places than others. So that's why you see like the darker, I'll show you, like darker areas on there. Part of that is dry. I'm not sure about the color yet, but we'll see how it dries. And then I'll make a decision on if I need to put on a second coat or not. The only reason I'm saying I might not need a second coat is because it has the top coat mixed in. So we'll see. This is the paint wash. It's that same paint, but I mixed it with water. It's normally like 1 part paint to 10 parts water. So I put it on with that foam brush that you saw in there, and I let it sit for a few minutes, and then I wiped it back. I finished the top last night, so this morning when it was really dry, I felt it and it felt smooth, so I didn't sand it at all. Normally I'll do like just a light sand on the top, but it felt so smooth that I just went ahead and put the top coat on, so it's drying now, which is why it looks uneven. And the blue tape is down there because when I had the drawers in, I noticed that you could still see just that little bit of finish right there that's so dark. So I thought I'd put a little bit of paint right there, so when the drawers are in, it all looks like the same color. So I'll do that next. So I pulled the tape off both sides. It's not perfect, but it's a lot better, and you won't be able to see if there's any like imperfections because the drawers will be in the way, but it'll just make it so that dark spot doesn't appear underneath. And I'll put the drawers in and show you. You can see how the paint underneath makes a difference. You don't see like that dark, like what's in the drawers. You could see that before down here, and you really can't see anything like that now. It's all the same color. It's a small thing, but to me it made a difference. And then I also did the second coat of top coat on the top. I used the Lily Moon Stellar Shield. Gives like a nice satin finish, and it lays down really nice too. If you, as long as you don't overwork it, just put it on. And I just use like a sponge brush to put that on. Just go over it a couple times and then leave it alone, and it'll lay down really nice. So I'll do one more coat and then this one will be done. Quick look at what we had before. Kind of reddish brown stain on it and a few dings and dents, not too bad. And here's after. I think I got pretty close to that inspiration photo that you saw in the beginning, the Pottery barn look. It actually turned out really good for what it was, that press board with a thin sheet of veneer over top. I listed it on Facebook Marketplace for $180, and I had maybe $30 worth of materials in. I reused the knobs. I just spray painted them black and put a top coat on for durability. It sold within a week, so I didn't make that much on it, but all in all, I only spent about 6 hours on it, so I'm happy with what I made. Thanks for watching, and if you liked the video, please give me a like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.